welcome back to 52 Licks, another 52 Licks for 2020. I got a great request for Elvin, which always opens a Pandora's box for me. Elvin is my #1 guy when it comes to how to play jazz drums. So he wanted to know if we could look into what Elvin plays over the great John Coltrane tune, Resolution, part of A Love Supreme. Lots of stuff going on in there. I found a little lick. I thought, oh, this would be cool. And I found another one. And I found another one. And then it just kind of set me back for a second. I realized I should do a little series of Elvin's comping on Resolution, John Coltrane's Resolution. So we're going to start today with one little, basically 3-bar phrase. It's really a 2-bar phrase with a little exclamation point on the end. That exclamation point is important, which is why it's a 3-bar phrase. We're going to delve into the lick itself and also how it works, and we're going to try and line that up with some of the other ones that are coming here pretty soon as Elvin gets more and more involved and more intense as the tune goes on. This one particular song happens pretty quickly in the track. So let's break down that lick. The lick itself, kind of medium tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll play a bar time out front and then play the lick. 2, 3, 4. So you can hear that resolution that comes at the end of the second bar. So a couple of things going on there. What I want to do is we're going to break down why he's playing what he's playing there. In my opinion, a lot of what Elvin comps is really this big picture set of accents and phrases that we've all heard a ton of times. He's got a cool sense of syncopation and where to move them. He plays this kind of fun game with us where we think it's going there, but he ends it here or whatever. We're going to get a little bit into that in one of the other ones. But today, what I want to do is strip this down and talk about how each of these parts works and then put it back together so it sounds a little bit more like Elvin again. So really, if we strip down the lick, what we get is sort of a kind of a bebop phrase, something that the drummers were playing right before Elvin came around. So I'm going to play what is, I think, really the core rhythmic accents in the song, and I'm going to play it like a drummer might have played it before Elvin. 1, 2, 3, 4. A little faster. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I believe that's what Elvin hears in his head. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the accent points, and he's just hearing bass drum accent, snare drum accent, roll into the downbeat, and then a little extra on the end of 4. It's what he plays in between that really separates what he's doing from other stuff. But really, if you strip away all that other stuff, that's a phrase we've heard 1,000 times. But when Elvin plays it, it's the other stuff in between that really turns it into something a little bit more mysterious, a little bit more interesting, particularly because it came after all that great stuff, right? That stuff has to exist, and then he has to innovate on top of that. So what is he doing there? He's breaking down that pattern into a couple of phrases. The first phrase, 1 and, he's going to fill in the middle triplet. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. That's all it is. So if he wanted to play 1 and, he might play it like this. And really, in that sense, there's a little bit more phrasing on the first and third note. Ba-ba-om, not ta-ta-ta, right? Sometimes we get phrasing mixed up and we play all 3 of those really strongly, and we lose that Elvin effect. Doesn't have the same effect as He's a little lighter with it, and he's still driving that ride cymbal on top of those phrases. So the one and phrase is triplet. Then when he wants just the bass drum accent, particularly at that tempo, he'll leave that first triplet out. So it becomes, I'll play the downbeat on the ride cymbal, although he doesn't always do that. Very important phrasing note. Notice how quiet that hand is. It's not. Not that he doesn't play that sometimes, but to me the phrasing in his mind is that and on the bass drum. So he also has a version of that where he wants that same and accent, but he wants it in the snare drum, and that's where we get this. But check out that phrasing. It is not. The middle triplet is quieter, so that what you really pick up on is da 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 da. He does this a little bit. I've seen him do it. I do it a more exaggerated version because I'm not as good as he is. But I kind of open up my hand to get the second note to be a little louder. Little technique thing that might help you with that. So if we put just the first measure together of one and add that Elvin phrasing around it, what you get is. He also happens to put a little extra emphasis on obviously the and forward. Da, right. Then the big hit is the following and of one, which is on the bass drum, and it's a crash. Lastly, or second to lastly, his rolls. Does he play press rolls? Of course, plays them all the time. But one of his more effective rolls when he gets faster is a single stroke roll. To me, the difference is he doesn't play it like this. It sounds too punchy that way. It's too, we hear too much of the subdivision. He kind of slices his hands a little bit, and it creates a little bit more of a rounded sound. Not. I started to learn that, and what I found was it's a little difficult. Obviously, you're going to struggle a little bit with evenness because now we're slicing, and we spent all this time trying not to slice. But if you slice just a little bit, takes a little of the velocity off of it, rounds it out a little bit more, and it kind of makes it a little warmer, a little smoother sounding. So he also does that when he rolls around the drums. He'll kind of have a little bit of that slice as well. Last part of this is that last hit on the and of four. So the third bar, which is after Coltrane resolves, is first two hits are obvious, just crash, crash on one and the and of two. It's when he wants to play a two-beat phrase where the accent is on the last eighth note. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3. He'll often play 1, da, 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 da. So when he plays that triplet, that quarter note triplet offset by an eighth note, often the accent is on the last note. Versus so if you put all that together slowly, you get that really hip Elvin Jones 3-bar phrase. It's really 2 bars with that little extra oomph that says, oh, you think we're done? Gonna put one more in there for you. So hopefully this helps delve a little bit into why he uses the triplet patterns that he does. He doesn't use every possible triplet pattern. He uses ones that effectively ornament the way that he naturally hears up and downbeat accents, the way plenty of other drummers do. He's just figured out these kind of cool ways to do it. Don't forget the voicing stuff. It makes a huge difference. All right, hope this helps. The next one will be a little bit more involved Elvin one, and they'll kind of grow like that. We're going to do 4 of these, a nice big run on Elvin's playing on John Coltrane's Resolution. See you on the next one. Good luck.